So the next question is, how can I buy a home with no money down? Is this achievable? Yes, it is. I've done it many times. Even just 2 weeks ago, I helped a referral to purchase a home with literally zero money down. And what do I mean by that? We gave him back his earnest money deposit at closing. Listen to what I said keenly. We gave him back his money, his earnest money or good faith deposit money at closing. All right, so that means that he paid zero money down. All right, so how can you do this? Buying a home has three parts to it, and you need to understand those. One, you're gonna get your mortgage, which is your 30-year mortgage fix, or however you wanna hold it, 30, 15, it's up to you. Then you have your down payment, then you have your closing costs. You have to have a middle credit score, a middle FICO score, even Vantage score right now, of 640 or higher, okay? So you need, the state requirement is, and when I say state, that includes city, counties, you need a 640 minimum credit score, all right, in order to use it. Some DPA programs that are not state, city, or government, for example, lender-backed programs, those oftentimes require a higher credit score, like 660, 670, 680. Let's use an illustration of you buying a home for $100,000. So, and you're using an FHA loan. An FHA loan require you, the buyer, to have at least 3.5% down. So if you're buying a house for $100,000, then you need to have a minimum for your down payment of $3,500. Using the textbook, going by the textbook, your estimated closing cost should be up to 6%. Note the fact up to, right? So up to 6%. Now, with that said, if you're buying a home for $100,000, then your down payment, which is 3.5%, and if you use the max closing cost per the textbook, which is up to 6%, then buying a home for $100,000 will equivalent to $9,500 or 9.5%, okay? Now, the down payment and closing cost assistance, the minimum down payment and closing cost assistance right now in the state of Florida is $10,000. So if you're buying a home for $100,000 and you only need $9,500, then $3,500 goes towards your down payment, and then the other, what is that, $6,500 goes towards your closing costs. Okay, now some of these down payment assistance programs allow you to get your earnest money back, while some doesn't allow you to return the earnest money. So it just depends, but you can purchase a home with little to no money down if you have the credit score needed, right? If you qualify for it, meaning that you have not owned a property within the last 3 years, you can do it. And then if it falls within the median income bracket for that county, city, or for that county, then you should be fine, okay? And that also, when I talk about the median income, is that depends on your family size. There are so many factors that goes into it, but it can be done. And oftentimes it's done very quickly. It may sound complicated, but it's done very quickly. Let's just say you were to do a loan application with myself. Then the minute we get it done, we can tell you, hey, these are all the down payment assistance program that you qualify for, and then we'll explain them all, or we'll say, hey, these are the best ones, and then you could go from there, okay? So down payment assistance programs, yes, you can purchase a home with little to no money down. It is very much possible. And then another thing on that is that down payment assistance programs, you could also use down payment assistance programs and seller credit. So for example, let's just say that you're buying a home going back to that $100,000, right? Which I know you can't find a house for $100,000 in the state of Florida, not right now, unless it's half of a house, okay? But you can apply the percentage scenario to any home, whether it's 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, okay? The math is still the same. So let's just say that you're buying one for 350, okay? Then you apply the same thing, 3.5% for your down payment, and then up to 6% for your closing costs. Now, realistically, note that I said, hey, that up to 6% is textbook, okay? But in the space, I really haven't seen it over a total of 7.5%, which means 3.5% for your down payment and up to 4% for your closing costs. I'm not saying that can't change, okay? It can, but I have rarely seen it over a total of 7.5%. So that is a cool 0.5% that you're saving based on my observation, okay? And the cool thing is you can couple the down payment assistance with seller credit. So let's just say that the seller is giving you $10,000 towards your closing costs and prepaid, because right now it's pretty much a buyer's market, and sellers now are literally opening their wallets to buyer credit. So they're giving buyers credit to help them with their, their closing costs, because they can't help you with your down payment. So you can use down payment assistance to cover your down payment, and then also leverage sellers' credit to pay for your closing costs. But you do need a good realtor, and you do need a good loan officer who understand these programs, okay? Because a lot of the times, realtors don't realize that the programs have specifications in regards to the house that you're buying. So not all the houses will qualify for the certain type of down payment assistance programs, or you must have certain home inspection to provide to us. You get what? So it depends. You need a good agent with a head on who knows how this program works. Another thing, you also need a good lender that doesn't have certain agendas. And what I mean by that, you have some lenders that they will steer you away from any type of program if it's not paying them. So make sure you find a good one that can explain these programs to you. But again, you have to qualify for it. These programs are pretty good. So you can purchase a home with literally little to no money down. However, you still need to show some form of money in the bank, guys. Even though you're not planning to use it, you have no intention of using it, ensure that you have at least a month mortgage payment or two in your bank account, okay, if you can. So a month mortgage payment or two. So if your mortgage payment will be, let's just say $2,500, make sure you have $2,500 in the bank or $5,000 in the bank, even though you're not planning to use it. You want to show that you have something in the bank. Let's just say that you buy your house today and you lose your job tomorrow. What's gonna happen? So it gives the underwriter a lot more confidence to approve your loan if they see that you have at least a month or two monthly payments in your bank account. And they refer to this as reserves, okay? So even though you're not using it, they still refer to it as reserves. Now, someone may ask a question, yeah, but how is zero money down when we're going into under contract, I pay money I pay the seller or pay the title company 1% to hold the house? Yes, that is true. Now with the DPA programs, some of the programs allow us to give that money back to you, similar to what I said about my guy, that I gave him back his money at the closing table. So he received a check back with his earnest money deposit. But there's no written rules in regards to how much money you can put down, especially in the buyer's market. So if you want to put down a earnest money deposit of 1%, 0.5%, 1/4%, it's totally up to you. But most times, 1% make your offer look a lot stronger, okay? And then the cool thing is, that 1% is actually 1% of your down payment. So remember I said that your down payment is 3.5%? Then if you put 1% down, that only leaves you with a down payment of 2.5%. And then your down payment assistant can pick that up for you. Or if you have enough down payment assistance, then you can get that money back at the closing table. That's how you do zero money down. It can be done. I've done this many times. That's what I do throughout my career, is working with buyers, putting them into homes with as little money down as possible, little to no money down as possible. So if this helped you out, share it with friends and family, and then we move on to the next question, okay? All right, bye-bye.